My long-standing fear that quarrels within the court would threaten its collapse has come to pass.
One of the most intense missions. So much happening from the first minute that we will skip the intro and talk about why we are actually here later.
Our king is trapped at his palace in the city. Save him, Gajah!
I am here to save my king. I'm glad to see you here to aid me in this difficult task, Gajah Mada.
We start with a modest force but no base. There is no time to lose, so we will just plop the town center on the starting location, which has food and gold.
The rebels have a strong grip on this city, but we can still count on the support of the people. If we go to them, they will give us what we need.
Our hero, Gajah Mada, does not need to survive to win this mission, but as we do not wish to rewrite history, it is only appropriate to keep him alive. He regenerates HP and has pretty strong combat stats, making him the best choice to lure and hunt rhinos. There are many water buffaloes scattered across the fields, but the fighting starts very quickly in this mission and does not let up, so we need to quickly spread our forces to collect them before enemies start contesting control of the herd. While the wiki guide says not to place the first town center on the starting location, as it will be harassed, we can deal with this by outsmarting the enemy. The Majapahit rebels cannot hit the starting town center if they do not know it's there, so we will kill the scout they sent out from their base to explore the map. We will use the 5 starting crossbowmen to camp the outside of the rebel camp in box formation. As their scout ventures out, we will kill it, but not before letting it see our second town center, placed beside the wood line. The enemy will think this is our main town center and attack it instead, letting our more valuable town center secure food and gold without using any defenders. Then we will also heavily arm the second town center so that any attack on it fails, and because it is right next to the Majapahit rebels, this puts our military in a perfect position for a counter-attack while Majapahit rebuilds their forces.
We have heard of the treacherous uprising, and are here to fight for our king.
We will defend it with crossbowmen, karambit warriors, battle elephants, and even Gajah Mada himself. Our hero will personally defend this town, once he has collected 3 rhinos for food. Meanwhile, there are 2 Majapahit rebel camps deep in our lands. They contain forward production buildings that can stream raiders into our base. We do not want this, so we will send a volunteer force of ballista elephants to clear up one camp, while the Prime Minister, Aryatada, also our ally, destroys the second camp.
Angkat sanjata. Aku pengerti.
Swasti. Aku tuha buru.
The enemy scout lies dead, but not before reporting the location of our bait town center to his handlers. Step 1 complete. Step 2. This forward operating base must be destroyed. It has some soldiers in it, but ballista elephants are very powerful and should deal with them with no losses. We just have to be careful not to be baited into the Troulan defense line, which has some very painful bombard towers that hurt. Ballista elephants are a combination of elephant and scorpion, which is also the army comp we plan to use for this mission. We will train a large army of elite battle elephants and heavy scorpions to free our king. The battle elephants are tanks with high HP and trample, good versus the various towers and buildings in the capital. Scorpions provide ranged cover fire for the elephants, allowing us to overpower Troulan's counter units, the monks, and the halberdiers. In fact, all our enemies also send elephants into combat as well. So we will gain the jump on them using scorpions with their pass-through piercing bolts, and bonus anti-elephant damage.
Swasti. Aku akan maruat. Aku pemangun gedong. Siap.
It is easy to get housed if you wait till there is 5 population left. Somehow, something will distract you, you will forget, and suddenly you realize you can't train more units. Therefore it's best to not save on wood and just build the damn houses early. Gajah Mada is done with the hunt. It's time to go to the military city. The enemy will attack before 10 minutes pass on the clock.
Swasti. Apa syasananya baginda? Aku pemangun gedung. Iya, aku mengerti.
This small gap leaves a perfect opening into our town center. With only Gajah Mada guarding it, the rebels will confidently gang up on our hero, not realizing we have garrisoned crossbowmen behind and a force of light infantry karambit warriors to shut down any enemies that try to run. The woodline also lies beyond this town center, so our villagers are safe and can continue working even with tense fighting occurring just a few meters away. Our ballista elephants are done with the forward and are headed to reinforce military town. They are usually too slow to arrive in time for the defense, but can join the counter-attack that follows later.
Aku pemangun gedung.
Just like houses, forage bushes also tend to run out when you are distracted, so to avoid a sudden pause in our food economy, we will transition to farms early and leave only a few on berries. That way, only a few villagers will be idle even if we forget to check. Oh no, our hero is surrounded by many enemies. But guess what? We have hidden elephants ready to intercept the raiders and sandwich them between a stampede and town center fire.
Apa syasananya baginda?
The Majapahit likes to play hit and run versus our slow elephants, but fortunately our military also has fast-moving karambits to catch skirmishers who run.
Yasaku baginda. Aku pengaruat. Iya, aku mengerti.
We don't wish to fight too long in the enemy's tower range, so we will lure the Majapahit elephants into our town instead, where our own arrows will help.
You can resign again.
Next we will summon the Prime Minister, Aryatada, to switch to the west lane. His army will help clear a path to the capital, Trebutchets, and bring us to the western gate. Before reaching it we will also pass one of Majapahit's rebel towns, so we can kill two birds with one stone by destroying it. Aryatada listens to one of three signal commands. 105 tells him to attack west. 106 says to hit middle. 107 takes him to the faraway eastern gate. If we don't give him any signal at all, his army defaults to pushing in the middle. There are pros and cons behind the choice of which gate to breach, but let's just rule out the east one. It's just too far away from the king to save him on time, and Rakrian Kuti has a castle blocking the path anyway, which would force our soldiers to reach the king through the middle, except with the added journey of also going through the east. The king will probably die by then. As for the middle gate, it is the fastest and most direct path to the king. But the middle is also guarded by bombard towers and siege onagers behind walls, so it is very costly to breach. Not only this, but Trebutchets will suddenly commit a huge army from all directions to cut us off once we reach the king. We will find our king in a high-stakes chase scene dodging arrow fire and possibly even bombard cannonballs. Gajah Mada will obviously never risk his king's safety like that. This leaves us with the western gate, a path which lets us simultaneously burn one rebel town en route to the capital. The loss of this town hurts the rebels, damaging their economy, which makes them less able to pose any threat to us. In fact, this town center is even the one they used to research the Imperial Age, so we might punish their overconfidence by ramming it down while it is still being researched. Gajah Mada has a different idea, however. Interrupting the enemy Imperial research also refunds them the full cost of the tech, 1,000 food and 800 gold. This is a lot of resources they can use to train army. We should instead slightly delay our ram push so that the rebels successfully reach the Imperial Age. Then we attack them with full force to bleed them dry, denying them the opportunity to research Imperial technologies as they are forced to train defensive armies. Thus the rebels end up an age higher than us, but with 1,000 food and 800 gold less. They gain no advantage from their tech superiority, and will instead lose to our Castle Age army. Needless to say, we will delay our own age up ourselves, using the resources to build a big army instead, which will give the momentum we need to attack both the capital, Trebutchets, and the rebels on the outside, at the same time.
Swasti. Aku pemangun gedung.
Two front wars are our specialty.
Syasananya baginda. Aku pengerti. Angkat senjata.
Iya. Apa sasananya
Aku
baginda?
pemangun aku pemangun gedung.
Siap. Siap.
Our ballista elephants have arrived at the western gate and can usefully snipe Travelin's defenders from over the walls. When the gate breaks, its defenders will be too weakened to deal with our rams.
Apa syasananya baginda?
Meanwhile, our battle elephants are raiding the rebel gold mine and testing his 4 towers at the river crossing. It seems that they have pursued fleeing rebel miners all the way back to their other town center. Our siege is not forward, so we don't want to take too much arrow fire trying to destroy it with elephants, yet. Instead we can raid the rebel economy outside their town center, preventing the Majapahit hit from collecting resources and buying a counter army.
Siap. Siap.
Oh, this was supposed to be a lumber camp.
Aku akan merawatnya. Siap.
Ya, aku merawat. Yasa baginda.
We have broken the western gate, but there is still a long way to go to reach the king's palace. There is a bombard tower on the upper path guarded by champions. We will need elephants to clear the champions first so that rams can finish the tower. On the lower path Rokri and Kuti has a whole bunch of stuff, such as 2 towers, 2 barracks, towers, and warships.
Aku tapi
The king's castle normally can hold for 20 minutes. After that, Rokri and Kuti makes a ram and arbalest push that sometimes works, and sometimes gets stopped. But at 23 minutes he will try again with ram, arbalest, and a siege onager with siege engineers researched, so it now outranges the castle, and can bring it down, exposing the king garrisoned within and leaving him an easy kill.
Apa syasananya baginda? Angkat senjata. Tapi Ya, tapi
We need to watch the king closely during these few minutes, as he can very easily die if we are distracted. Our elephants are now nearby the bridge, but we do not want to cross yet, as reaching the king triggers a huge Tro-Ulan army as mentioned earlier.
Swasti. Siap.
The Majapahit rebels have sent a force of cavalry archers to defend their river crossing, but arrows are famously useless versus rams. They do not have any infantry yet, but we will protect the rams with elephants, just in case. Rokri and Kuti's rams have broken the tower defense and are headed to the king now, but we need not panic, as King Jayanagara still has a few halberdiers to snipe the rams. We will continue to clear the lower western path. Meanwhile, the rebels are putting a spirited fight on the river, but they have lost 3 out of 4 towers. More elephants, and the crossing will fall. Our hero Gajah Mada is confident enough in his safety to guard this river crossing personally.
Maju. Ya, Baginda. Apa syasananya, Baginda?
And now he ventures forward to personally execute rebel villagers.
Apa syasananya, Baginda?
We have delayed Imperial Age for so long but are now at the population limit, so we can consider it now.
Iya. Aku pengerti. Aku Baginda. Ya, Sakuka, Baginda. Aku pengerti.
The southern bridge is secure, and it is the more important one, as Rokri and Kuti uses siege weapons here. But we cannot afford to neglect the northern bridge either, as assassins can use it as an alternative path to the king.
Ya, Baginda. Aku mengerti.
The Majapahit have lost their second town center and their villagers have no protection now from elephants running amok and scorpions in their business.
Iya.
We really need elephants in the north but population limits make this challenging. I guess we can delete some villagers but that would hurt our economy which is still needed to train our very expensive army.
Apa syasananya, Baginda? Iya. Maju. Tapi aku pengaruan. Ya, Sakuka,
Ya,
aku
Baginda.
pengerti. Ya. Apa syasananya, Baginda? Ya, Sakuka, Baginda. Apa syasananya, Baginda?
Ya,
Aku
Baginda.
pengerti.
Iya. Aku panggal
Iya.
tambang.
Apa syasananya, Baginda?
Aku marwat. Siap. 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 Siap.
Iya.
Apa sasananya? Aku panggal
Swasti.
tambang. Swasti.
Aku akan merawatnya. Aku pembangun gedung.
Apa sasananya, Baginda? Siap.
Swasti. Aku penggali tambang.
Swasti. Siap. 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 Siap.
Apa syasananya, Baginda?
Things have quieted down in the outskirts. The rebels, despite reaching Imperial 12 minutes before us, are dead. Or we should say, they died because they reached Imperial before us. We have lost most of our elephants, but crucially, our position held, and the king remains secure. But it is time to catch a breath now.
Ya, Sakuka, mengerti. Apa syasananya, Baginda? Ya, tapi maju. Ya, Sakuka, Baginda. Angkat senjata. Apa syasananya, Baginda? kuka baginda. Tapi angkat senjata. Ya, maju. Yasa kuka baginda. Ya, tapi angkat senjata. Apa syasananya baginda? Yasa kuka baginda. Ya, baginda. Aku pengaruh.
Unfortunately, our lack of elephants in the middle has left our rams exposed to Troulan counterattack. The only way to save our rams is to go to the king.
Aku marwat. Aku penggali tambang. Apa syasananya baginda? Aku pengerti.
I knew you would come. Take me out of here before these rebels get their filthy hands on me.
Apa syasananya baginda?
We can run with the king as he ordered, but the rebels seem to have men on the outside, so the safest place for King Jayanagara is right where he is, where his castle stands.
Maju.
Here comes the Troulan army, panicking at the thought of letting King Jayanagara escape. Little do they know, escape is not our plan. We have production on the south side of Troulan and elephants pushing north. As our whole army is here, the king should be very safe where he sits. Even our Yatada has some men here, giving our side a good chance of successfully defending the palace.
Ya, aku marwat.
But we will fall back for a bit so that the castle can help with arrow fire. We don't want to sit here with elephants and get pummeled with arbalests. Troulan's elephants are strong and we had to retreat a long way. But despite looking grim, we have reinforcements still coming along our supply route, and Troulan cannot replenish their army.
Aku marwat. Aku pengerti. Aku penggali tambang. Siap.
Swasti penggali gedung.
With the reinforcements, we were able to hold, just barely.
Siap.
Both the north and south bridges are secure now, and Troulan's blockade has been broken.
Siap.
We will now use the King's Palace compound as our staging ground, to go on the counter-offensive. Rokrian Kuti has a castle that spawns Trebutchets, and a district full of elephants. The fighting ahead is bloody and optional, but we must send a message to the coup plotters, that treachery is a crime punishable by death. We will not just meekly escape with our king to the flagged area as our mission objective says. The king's castle is pretty useful, saving us 650 stone so we don't have to build our own castle, and it can research conscription to speed up mobilization, and even train Trebutchets.
Swasti. Siap. Siap, siap, siap.
Apa syasananya baginda? Ya, baginda. Aku pengerti.
Trebutchets are much better than rams as they don't have to run away. With long range, they can destroy a building long before enemy elephants reach them with their slow speed. This force of onagers and halberdiers are too strong for our tiny force of battle elephants to deal with. We will inflict as much losses as we can, then send more elephants.
Yasa kuka baginda. Siap. Aku pemangun gedung.
It's annoying being unable to train new military due to the population limit, so we should probably clear some room by suicidally charging with elephants and just hope for the best.
Siap. Angkat senjata.
Rokrian Kuti's castle is well defended, so we can lose a lot of elephants this way, making room for more population. The other way is to delete villagers, but we will reserve that option for later. We should also grab some key technologies such as siege engineers, to make taking buildings easier. Capped ram and heavy scorpion to be researched too.
Apa syasananya baginda?
Iya.
Apa syasananya baginda?
Siap. Iya. Siap.
Rokrian Kuti's castle has fallen and his siege workshop will be next. Most of our elephants have died, but our scorpion numbers are increasing. We are still a bit outmatched on the outskirts, as the villager we tasked to build these stables was lazy and didn't actually build anything at all.
Apa syasananya penggali tambang?
The elephant, scorpion, and Trebutchet combination is working. Very expensive, but every part of it is devastating to buildings.
Baginda. Siap.
The main weakness of this army is how slowly it moves, but in the cramped quarters of a city, the firepower it brings is unmatched.
Siap.
We would like to both purge Tro-Ulan of all rebels, and clear the king's escape route at the same time. Tro-Ulan has a huge fortress at the flagged area, dotted with a castle, bombard towers, regular towers, and a diverse army. While the elephants provide tanking, scorpions protect the Trebutchets from enemy sniping attempts and also mow down any massed formation with pass-through piercing bolts. We are successfully clearing hundreds of rebels now, but another fierce fight lies ahead, as there is a district where Rakrian Kuti keeps a lot of elephants. Moving our slow, heavy army can feel extremely sluggish.
Yasa Baginda. Angkat senjata.
Iya.
Swasti.
While this spot has some elephants, this is not the elephant district.
Apa syasananya Baginda? Angkat senjata.
Our push on the south side is merely a gimmick to distract Rakrian Kuti. We have no siege down there, and our real target is Elephant District, with its dual stables.
Apa mahu-mamu? Aku akan makaryakan pintamamu.
Before our assault, we will finally move the king closer to the flag so we can win this mission as soon as Rakrian Kuti surrenders.
Marpada serupa akan makaryakan pintamamu.
Our king has successfully evaded the coup plotters patrolling units and will make it safely to the town center we built on Majapahit's destroyed town, where Gajah Mada will personally greet His Majesty. Elephant District is in the far eastern corner. Reaching it will require us to move several hundred tons of elephant and scorpion flesh. Meanwhile, our outrider elephants are ready to suicidally charge the Trouulan outer fortress, clearing up the flagged area for our king.
Maju.
It seems like bad pathfinding has left our elephants stuck on the wrong side of our Trebutchets, but oh well, let the games begin. Rokrian Kuti lost his stables very quickly to our Trebutchets, and his elephants were focused down by our many scorpions. Scorpions are a pretty good counter to the elephant line, as they deal bonus damage to it. We didn't have our elephants in the front, which would have been ideal, but then again, it's probably a blessing in disguise as Trebutchets had monks. The remainder of Rokrian Kuti's forces are infantry and arbalests, which are no match for our army. We should just scorpion these monks and finish the job.
Apa syasananya? Angkat senjata. Angkat senjata. Apa mahu-mahu?
Not sure where our elephants went, but they probably got converted and promptly died to our own scorpions. It's getting a bit hairy for us as we no longer have a meat shield to protect our vulnerable scorpions. The enemy's infantry can actually reach them now. But Gajah Mada has a new force of elephants to the south to storm the remaining barracks. Our outriders report that the suicidal elephant charge was a success and all Trebutchets buildings in the flagged area have been destroyed. Rokrian Kuti's last remaining infantry have been trampled by elephants, and his barracks are soft to Trebs. But surprisingly, Rokrian Kuti did not resign. He must have some straggler units somewhere. Damn. We found these two arbalesters who have been shooting the same stable for an hour now. The stable still has not been destroyed. That was silly. Oh well, time to finally get the king out.
I am safe now. I owe you my deepest gratitude, Gajah Mada.
Aku mengerti.
We crushed the rebellion and executed the leaders. To celebrate our victory, the king threw a great festival, and the poets sang of his courage and ferocity in the face of danger.